And then after dinner, we got a chance to talk to Bruce Main, who's the founder of and director of Urban Promise, and he started it in like 1985. I think the school started in 1988. So we had a chance to kind of just sit down with him, talk to him, ask him questions. It was really cool because it's really neat to talk to someone who's been doing this kind of work as long as he has, because I feel like he really has like his feet on the ground. We talked a lot about like the tension between idealism and like kind of wanting to, like the starry-eyed, wanting to change the world and fix everything, and then so the tension between that and then the nitty-gritty, like having your feet on the ground, doing the work, doing the day-to-day grind. And I thought he was a really good perspective on that, and that you need both to really make this kind of thing work, because you need the idealism to keep going so you don't get too cynical and kind of burned out, and you need the hard work so that you can actually make a difference in people's lives.
One of the things I guess really impacting is like the whole thing about when you're young you get all these ideas about life, and then you grow up, it's like, hey, what happened to those ideas? So I want to be a person that follows through with those ideas and does something with their life in order to like change and affect the community that I live in. Positive contribution.
So tonight's talk with Bruce Main was interesting to me because after reading a couple of John Perkins pieces, like one of my questions was, how do you see sort of the idea of Christian community development? Like, do you live and send your kids to the schools in the poor area that you're working in? And if you don't, why not? And he has not sent his kids to the Camden Public Schools, even though they did live in Camden for a while. Now they live like 5 minutes outside of Camden. And apparently it was a lot of his wife's sort of convictions that they needed to send their kids to the best school possible. And so it's really interesting. He went apparently to school with John Perkins' kids, and he knows all about Perkins, and they don't necessarily agree on everything, but so it was really good to hear a second sort of opinion on that, because that's something that I am really interested in learning more about.
I think the biggest thing is just a personal conviction of the fact that, like, recently I've tried so hard to be like personally aware and conscientious of the way that I've been living my life, and I was just hit with his story because I realized just how individualistic it was, and how the things that I'm striving for, yes, they are good, and I mean they benefit other people, not always explicitly but implicitly, and that's not a bad thing, but I'm realizing that there's so much, there's just a greater vision out there for things that I don't quite understand and things that I have yet to comprehend. But I'm excited to start asking those questions to figure out, like, well, what is this world that exists outside of myself and my mind and my own personal life, and like how do I interact with it, especially when I graduate, and not even then, but like how do I interact with it now? And I think I've done that on some different levels, but there's something a lot bigger out there, and I'm excited to figure out what it is.
So yesterday, me and Olivia went to St. Mark's Lutheran, which is the church we're staying at here, which is a lovely apartment is part of, and that was nice. The liturgy was very nice. It was kind of short, but I really liked it. And then that night we went to this church called Circle of Hope, which is pretty contemporary. It was really fun. It was relaxed feeling, but it was also very thoughtful, contemplative. I don't know. It was nice. It was a nice experience to go to both and kind of get. I felt like I got kind of all ends of the spectrum.
Church yesterday. Oh, that was really cool. It was interesting. It was like really chill and stuff. I found it interesting that they called it like a what was it? Some kind of something meeting. Public meeting, there you go. Not a service. So it made it really like laid back and stuff. Their music was really enjoyable. Apparently I missed when they sang the Spanish song, but it's okay. But they had this table set up. It was really simple, and we just, like, the congregation as a whole got to take part in setting it up. And I learned that I'm like a tree, that needs to be pruned and watered, and roots need to grow and be nourished. So that was really cool. New insight on life. And Mary and Joseph. I forgot what it was, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm walking down the aisle, and I asked the guy, do you have any traveling mugs? He was like, well, what time is it? And I was like, it's 8:30. He was like, man, I was going to tell you can go to Family Dollar, but they definitely close at 8. And I was like, okay, thank you. And so I walked away.
I thought you'd take